Hi, everyone. Welcome to the
Hey,
bridge
everybody.
call. Welcome,
After
welcome, welcome.
a long summer break.
Yeah, that was
Hmm.
a long summer break.
Yeah, we were
So
just too busy.
I don't know
What's going
about
on?
you, but it was action packed.
Hmm.
Can anybody vouch for action packed?
Very busy. Hmm. Lots
So
going
Danny,
on.
how are you,
Mhm.
Danny?
I'm good. I've been rested and been looking forward to today. Are we going to talk about what we just talked about?
Yeah, we could just mention briefly what's going on. I just
Hmm.
wanted to just to capsulize it. So okay, so today was the
Hmm.
marker for financial crash.
Yeah. Mhm.
Afraid to say these words, right? Because everybody's like, what? What does
Yeah.
that mean?
Don't panic.
Basically, it means that we are moving out of debt slavery. All right. We have been enslaved in many different ways through finances, the monetary system, religion, medical, education. There's many slavery systems that have not allowed us to be in our own will and
And
choose
like,
powerfully. We've always been
mhm.
at the mercy of, and don't go outside of the lines. And what are you thinking?
Mhm.
Heaven forbid you have dreams, aspirations, and desires.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is what's happening. So there's a lot of people mentioning, today's the big day when it's going to start tumbling. The dominoes are starting to knock
Wow.
over.
Yeah.
But we got a
Mhm.
lot of stuff going on. We have the finance, we have the Equinox coming in, which is a huge portal of information. And the huge portal of information, there is a lot of upgrades that are happening. And this is all moving through our DNA. Okay. So the DNA is becoming more and more and more the currency. All right. So more the gold. So our DNA is like gold. And
Mhm.
as we increase our vibration, upgrade the DNA,
Mhm.
release the things that no longer serve people, places, and things. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to say goodbye to a lot of people. I
Yes, we
mean, the
are.
train has left the station.
Hmm.
um, and we've got a lot of things going on. I mean, we have floods, fires, earthquakes.
All of this.
So this is all happening, and it's going to continue to happen because I kind of tuned into this a long time ago that this was coming up, and it's going to go on for a while
It is.
because it's kind of the thing that the puppeteers use to keep instilling fear. But they don't realize that every time they blow something up or
But
create blazes and stuff, it just makes the community come together stronger.
certainly does.
And I don't know if you've seen in Lahaina, the Maui fire, they had like hundreds and hundreds of people on the water on paddle boards.
Hmm.
And that was their meeting, and that was their coming together as a community, all the Hawaiians coming together on the water with their paddle boards and reuniting. It was like, wow.
I can
And
see that.
yeah, it's a beautiful sight. You gotta it's kind of like, the truckers coming into Ottawa.
Right.
I was like, but it's like paddle boards on the water. So they had like a drone shot looking down on it, and there's like hundreds of these. That's like, what?
Wow.
Also there, I live right downtown now, and just in the last 3 days, there's been 4 marches. It's like there's just something always going on. Like people are fed up. And today
Right.
was the million march for kids. across Canada.
Mhm.
And apparently on the 23rd, there's going to be a big deal when it comes to the natives. Toronto and Ottawa are getting together
Yeah.
and going to be hanging out at the Ottawa Capitol. So there's a lot of things going on there.
Tremendous.
And
So can I mention something? So
yeah,
when we see all these things happening, we see them on a 3D level. But with all the energies coming into this planet, there's so much energetically happening here that we don't really see, and we may feel it. We may have more vivid dreams. We may have this ringing in our ears. We may have upgrades, downloads. Um, there's so much going on at this time. It's really, really kind of crazy. But it's all good. And I keep saying and thinking to myself, this is a time as crazy as it is to stay calm, stay grounded, meditate, whatever it takes to stay calm and know that everything's in good hands, that God really does have this, and that let's sit back and watch the game play. It really is a very interesting time to be alive. Very interesting time. So let's stay grounded. Let's stay out of fear totally. Let's keep our thoughts in prayer. And we know we're going to get through this because we've already won. We really have. May I mention what happened to me today? I had a very large energy come into my ears, very large, high-pitched tone came in, very strong. And with it came a message from the Arcturian High Council. For those of you who don't know that, I am a Arcturian commander. And in it, they said, we have had an emergency meeting, and it's been agreed upon that we are going to physically help the planet Earth. We have permission to intervene and assist humans. So they're going to start helping us in a way that we've never seen before. Very strong message I got today. Because generally, the ETs generally are observers. They can't really intervene with us. They assist in very small ways. They don't have permission to do that in a planetary evolution. But at this juncture in time, they told me we are going to intervene. They wouldn't tell me what they're doing. They're saying we have to step in and assist you. And we do have permission. So imagine how much is going to go on in the next few weeks. Imagine. Would be very interesting. It's the first time I've ever got a message quite like that. Really loud, high-pitched tone in my ears. And then the message came through. So I thought I'd share you. It's positive. We have so much help on this planet, but we're going to get more. So it's going to be very interesting to watch the next few days and weeks.
beautiful.
Very interesting. Mm-hmm.
So with that, can we just everybody come together energetically, and we're gonna create a circle here and bring in all the masters and anybody that wants to be here that is of the light and love to assist with any information that is needing to be shared at this time. And yeah, that wants to present itself with whatever information it has. So
Share.
are we ready to do that? Is everybody in a comfortable place? You guys all have your cameras off, so I'm assuming you guys are all sitting back relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we do that? Why don't we take 3 deep breaths? And as we do that, Danny, are you wanting to start us off?
We wish to create a circle of light around all of us here at this time of protection and connection to Source. We call on Father, Mother, Creator, God. We call on all our spirit guides and angels and ascended masters to surround us in a ball of white light and protection, to bring in the highest light and the highest frequency to us at this time, to share any knowledge, any information, any energies that would assist us at this time, where we give them full permission. We give them full permission to step in and assist us at this time. Where we are open for knowledge, we are open for healing, we are open for information on what's going on this planet at this time. And we thank them all for being present with us here at this moment. Thank you. Are you getting anything, Lucy?
They're mentioning that it's okay to mention something about the infirmament.
Sure. Whatever they're bringing up forward. Sure.
Mm?
Please do.
They're just mentioning that it's there is some type of veil dome that sits above us, below the skies and above us. That is another control system that's in place. And they're mentioning that the infirmament is actually thinning. It's dissolving,
Right.
which would mean that we have better access to portals, ETs, galactic beings, also the sun, and we'll be able to see the other suns that are there that we can't access at this time. We're still waiting for them to show themselves. And with that comes more DNA activation.
Good.
And are you getting anything else?
The message that's coming through so strong is the energy of love. There's so much energy of love coming from the cosmos, from, if you want to call it, different dimensions or different planes of existence. It's just being bombarded onto our planet at this time. It's such a wave that I'm being shown that this love is healing and curing all our ailments, all our issues here on this planet. That it's the love that's being poured into our minds, into our hearts, that is really changing the way we live, the way we think, on all levels of what we live on here on this planet. And I can feel it. It is a warmth. It's like standing in the sunlight. We're feeling that beautiful warm ray from the sun. And it's pure love that they're showering on us from every being that you can imagine that has a name is involved in assisting this planet and raising our vibration and healing us in this incredible love being showered upon us. For love heals all, and it's coming to heal our issues, our angers, our all the things that have been thrust upon us by the dark, because we've never been allowed to be our true organic selves. We've been manipulated and manipulated. It's been a very tough go for us here on this planet. And that's all being lifted now, along with the veil, like you were saying. The veil is so thin between the spirit world and this world, and it's being broken down. So much healing is coming here at this time on so many levels, whether it's even financial, whether it's the poverty on the planet, or the way we think and act on an everyday basis. is all going to be changed with this power of love and energy and light codes that are coming into this planet at this time. So much is here for us, and that we need to accept it and again live in our hearts full of love. That is the main message here. For love will conquer all. And this is not a time to be fearful. Yes, there will be great changes that will on the outward look scary or challenging, to look past that to what is really happening, where we are being liberated. This entire planet is being liberated on every level. So it's a great time to think of a future, a bright future that is here for us. And it's here and it's coming very, very soon. To let go of all the chains that have been put upon us. So it is a time to really look forward to the future and think positively and let fear go, because it's not in the equation at all, none at all. So as they say to me at this moment is to be grounded, to live in your heart, to know that we're being helped and assisted here on many, many levels, and to help others in our community, and that to share as we share our love and our friendship with others, it helps the planet. It's very important that we all treat each other nicely and kindly at this time, because there'll be a lot of upset people when they start hearing of all the changes that are major on the planet. There could be a lot of unrest, a lot of upset people at this time. Is that we are here to hold that light for them, to ground that light into this planet. So our job is great at this time, as we are ambassadors, so to speak, for the cosmos, for the creator gods, that we are here as their ambassadors to bring this energy here and anchor it here on the planet. This is our job. This is a willing job that we enjoy doing, helping the planet. So more important is just to stay grounded, stay positive, stay loving. It is so important to anchor that energy in this planet permanently. And this is happening on a grand scale, an absolutely grand scale. And that is their message for us today. That is their message.
Yeah, I also want to piggyback on that, like the infirmament and the veils, even our night work, when we go into dream state, you know, I don't know if you're aware, but you kind of leave your body and go do whatever it is your missions are. They are also now the veil between dream state and daytime work and nighttime work. The veils are getting thinner and thinner on that too. So you could be like going along in your day and then all of a sudden be completely oblivious to what's happening. You just completely forget, or you have no idea where you are, you know, and that's what's happening. Those are the indications of how everything is like just blending into one. So nighttime, daytime. And so it could be hard to like we were talking earlier, like I have to study all this information, but it's like, you know, to retain it and to recall it, it's like difficult.
Very.
Because it's not dream time or, you know, purpose or all this stuff. And, you know, of course, you take the exam and you just forget about all of it. It's just about getting certified and then you're good to go. But now when this happens, it could play havoc on the nervous system, right? Because it's just like, what the heck? What's happening? I can't remember stuff. Like, where am I? And then, you know, it's not a time to start beating ourselves up and being hard on ourselves. Just like I said earlier, the more you understand what's happening, the more you'll be like, whoa, I'm in like dream time in my daytime. Like you start having some fun with it and you instead of
Sure.
like being mad at yourself for not being in on top, you just
Hmm.
go, oh my God, I think I just left and went on to the other side of the video. Like you got to play with it, right?
Oh
Because
yeah. Have
the
fun with
more
it.
you the more you get into the play of it, because it's going to keep happening,
Hmm.
and the more it can happen, and the more you'll have a better time doing it.
Hmm.
So in the beginning, it could be a little unnerving, because you could be bumping into people too that are like really have no clue as to what's happening, and it may be happening to them too. We don't know, right? We don't know what people are going through or how it's affecting them or whatever.
Right.
So we have to like just be like
Agreed.
respectful, compassionate, and the more you do it with yourself, the more
Hmm.
you can look at other people, go, I know this is crazy shit, right? So
It
you can
is.
just kind of like really acknowledge what they're going through. And they don't even know that they're going through it. And they're like, what? It's like, and then you know what? Who knows? Maybe it'll just bring them to where they need to be, right?
Hmm.
So, and another thing that they're saying to me also is it is our birthright to be in abundance. Okay. It is our birthright. We were not meant to be here and be in lack. So the fact that I got so many devices around me, everything's pinging.
Hmm.
So that's also another mindset that you have to, it's not that you have to, but I'm just saying, like, the more you get into that mindset of, I'm meant to be abundant, this is my birthright. Like, this whole living in lack and,
That's right.
loneliness or isolation and all this, it's like an illusion. Okay. It was created out of the matrix.
Hmm.
And yes, it can be difficult when you're in it, but just know that it's an outside creation that you're assimilating with, right?
Right.
Um, just in the last, so this month, I've manifested a free place to live. I've
Right.
manifested like hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of food.
Wow.
It's
Very
like,
good.
it's crazy. Even my brother's like, how did you get like $200 worth of food? And I'm like, because I go to the grocery store and I'm like, holy shit, like to get a green pepper, it's like, what is happening, right? So, and
Mhm.
then I realized I got access to a lot of free food. And I was like, wow.
That's
And
fun.
also I had to go on court. I had to do a Zoom court. I had two tickets because when I came back to Canada, like there was a few tickets that happened, and I just like, no, I'm gonna open everything up.
Hmm.
So I went from like three tickets. One,
Hmm.
they did an early resolution and brought it right down, and the other two got withdrawn.
Unreal.
So out of three tickets, that was about $500, like down to $50.
Look at this, eh?
Yeah. So, and when you
Mm.
are really in tuned with it, you just go like, freaking,
It's peaceful.
I'm like in an apartment. I mean, they even have a freezer here full of food, like
Wow.
queen size bed. So what I'm saying is, I'm not
Hmm.
living in some palace or anything, but it's certainly like
It's free.
compared to, yeah, it's just there's no struggle, right? I get to
Mhm.
study, I get to meditate, I get to go to the gym down the street for like $15 a month. Beautiful park, like everything's around here. So it's weird. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm downtown, blah, 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 blah. And then as I kept like, okay, chill out and just check it out, like see what's going on. And then I realized, oh my God, like everything is here.
Right.
And then I just started acknowledging and being grateful. But when I did arrive, my nervous system was whacked. So I had to just like, okay, okay,
That's right.
okay. So
Can we ask our audience if they've had any things happen to them in the last while that's, abundance?
yeah, yeah, I'd love
Uh,
to hear what's going on
any
with
interesting
people.
things that have happened to anybody?
And all you have to do is like unmute yourself, and then you can turn your camera on too if you'd like. And because we are in the living room, I mean, this is the living room. Let's all pull up a chair and a coffee. Danny, you got a
Mhm.
coffee? Veronica, you got your tea, you got your coffee, everybody?
Do
Um, yeah, I would love to hear from like what's going on in this part of the world, that part of the world, any new things that have been happening, what's been
well
even the
since
bad, even the uncomfortable, even the challenging and bad stuff.
I was gonna, can I start since no one else is right now? I had an
Yeah.
incident with my vehicle and it was in limbo in a way, whether I was gonna be able to get it fixed or not fixed. And so I just gave it up to the universe and the angels. I said, please take care of it. And they even told me when it was going to be taken care of. And there it was. The whole issue gone, resolved perfectly. And I just went, I punched the air. Thank you, universe.
High
So
five.
we have the power, I just put it out there. I gave it to the universe and say, please take care of this. I need my vehicle. Um, get rid of the issues that are happening here and put it back in my hands. And they did. It was like, wow, we can do this. We can do this.
Yeah.
Right. Um, and so I'm a huge believer in prayer. Give it up to the universe and say, please, I give it to you to resolve my issue, whatever it is, and watch what happens. Right? Anybody else have something?
Bring it on, Brenda.
Hi. It's there was a lot today because I'm in Ottawa. Oh, my dog, you can't see him, but he's a 16-year, 7-month old Shih Tzu who
Wow.
is just kind of, we're heading to the horizon, he and I. Anyway, he's barking for some reason. But I was downtown today at the march. And lots of energy there, and lots of things that were kind of really triggering for a lot of people in Ottawa, like when the Toronto horses showed up again, which were the horses that came through the crowd and trampled the Indigenous woman at the convoy, and lots of tension between the two groups. But so when I went down into it, I came right at the end of Parliament Hill. But when I walked onto the hill, the first thing I saw were all these Muslim families, like all the little children. All the families brought their little children, and and so on the one hand, it was like an enormous Sunday picnic on the parent side, and then over on the other side, it was just a whole other story, and I'm gobsmacked by how quickly this entire campaign of this is hate, they're far right, hateful, hate. None of it's about hate. It's about parents wanting to hang on to their rights as parents, and in terms of their children's education, and so it was, but enormous amount of people, and in every city. But so all of that energy was just very. Uh, I, 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 I ended up standing back from it and watching all these smaller interactions because I found for me the protest was too much. I don't do well in things that are, this is what I'm against, this is what I don't want. It's rather than don't do this, parents have rights, something more positive message. So I stood back and I just kept sending blessings because the people just kept coming and coming and coming and coming and coming, because I was right at the corner where they came from Wellington and then went up onto Elgin. Yeah, quite a day.
Wow. Right, right.
but a whole lot of love there too. Like there was both sides, but the message that's being put out that it was hateful is untrue.
Mhm.
And it brought together people to have have the Muslim community come out this way, the way they have over this issue is totally new. And all kinds of conversations are going on all over the place between people learning about each other, and it's really positive in a lot of ways. So
Wow.
that was my day.
Beautiful.
And then so then I decided. So then they had the march, and then I looked at my watch and I thought, oh, I can go down and catch a couple of hours of the trial with Tamara Litch and Chris Barber, because we were right at the courthouse. So I went to the courthouse and watched that for a bit. That was a whole other, yeah, it's quite a day.
Wow. That's
So yeah,
on.
I'm ready for something to, shift my energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although it's
Very
not
good.
bad, like it wasn't. It was a positive day for me. Watching all these people together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very
Excellent.
cool. Was there a lot of
That's it.
people?
Pardon?
Was there a lot of people?
Oh, tens of thousands. I heard about one guy figured about 10,000.
Really?
The news isn't reporting it that way. The news is telling a whole other narrative. But
Oh,
there
wow,
were
that's
the
pretty good.
are you familiar with Ottawa at all?
A little bit.
Okay, so Elgin Street's kind of a main street. It's Elgin Street that comes up to the War Memorial, and then you
Okay.
can circle that roundabout and go up onto Wellington and up to Parliament Hill.
Right.
So the march started at Parliament Hill and came down kind of around where that War Memorial is, and then down that street, all the way down to a street called Laurier, and then turned up Laurier. And at Laurier and Elgin, the line still hadn't come around from Wellington. Like it was huge. And like a full 3 lanes of the street. It
Okay,
was
got
three,
it.
it was three across all the way along, a lot of people. And as I said, all these, well, not just the Muslim families, but there was a predominance of Muslim families, like a husband and a wife and 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 kids.
Wow. Amazing.
And the kids were having a ball. That was the other funny thing, is that they were, for the most part, just kind of playing and running around in the space that they had. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll stop talking now.
No,
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't want to write the first exam this morning because I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna miss the march. But then I wrote my exam, and then I went to the grocery store, and then when I came back, there was the march going right by me, and I'm like, what? I didn't miss the march. Jumped in, took some pictures. So I was like, oh, thank God I stuck to my exam date,
See?
It just always works out. And that's another thing too. The more letting go that happens and being with whatever, is and being in that space, like that's what's supposed to happen. So whatever happens, that's what's supposed to happen, or whatever didn't happen, that's what was not supposed to happen. So it's all fine, however way it goes, but we get into this like, oh, my life should be like this and blah, 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 blah. I wanted to share another thing that happened, I think last week. I was automatic writing, and I was releasing a bunch of stuff. Then all of a sudden, I was very upset. All the upset that was coming up was all about all the things that I did not do right in my life. So all the wrong moves I made, all the wrong people I hooked up with, all the wrong decisions I made, like all the wrongs just came to a head. And it was like super emotional. This is like, oh, my life, like, what is this about? And then Franco came in. I had my higher self coming in. I had even my other friend Scott, who passed away, he came in. Like they're all gangbang, just like, get in here. We got to like help her, release this, right? So what happened is they pulled the veil and then they showed me thousands of people with bright sun shining down on them. And I said, why are you showing me all these people? And then so they said to me, goes, these are all the people that you've impacted in a positive way.
Wow.
And then so they basically were trying to give me what I perceived, all the things that I did wrong, how huge it was compared to all the good that I've done. And there was no comparison, right? I had like this little ball. It ended up being like this little ball of blah to all this positive. I was like, okay, I get what you're saying.
Right.
So I was able to release it a lot quicker, right? Because I wasn't stuck in it like, oh, my life sucks, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
No, it was like, oh, I get it. So, and then in that moment, I was able to release it. But wow, what a great thing to come up was all, and then with it all comes all the guilt, the shame, the judgments, all the beatings, right? And I got to let go of all that too. So that was a really powerful day. That was like last Sunday, I believe.
Well, we're ready. I find it easier to heal nowadays. The energies are supporting us.
Yes.
Oh, it really is.
And I was working with a sponsee of mine, and it's so weird because we're supposed to do 12-step work, but like you said, I feel like the energy is moving so fast and time is just speeding up. I feel time has sped up a little bit more in the last couple of weeks. And I was like, oh my God, like it's time to go to bed again. It's time to wake up again.
Yeah.
And that's how I've been seeing is like, oh my God, it's dinner time again. So I was working with her the other day. I said to her, we normally do this in the step work at this time, but because time is speeding up, I want to move with the energy, move with the speed. And it was unbelievable what came out, because like people from her on the other side of her veil showed up and showed me who was assisting her. And she even had a miscarriage that I never knew of. She had a miscarriage. The little boy showed up and I said, oh, who are you? And he says, oh, she had a miscarriage and I was the one, and I'm here. And I was like, oh. And then when I told her, I said, oh, you had a miscarriage. She goes, yeah, I didn't know. She goes, oh, yeah, I lost the baby. It was only 2 months old, blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling her, I go, well, he's here. He came in to say hello. And so things like this were happening. And this is not what you do in 12-step work. So I'm just saying, and I had to tell her that. I'm going, okay, this is not 12-step work, but this is the speed of the energy that's happening on the planet. And people are coming in and letting it go and let's get on with it.
Right.
Oh my God. So it was such it's such an honor and a blessing to be in somebody's life that way. And so it was beautiful. So they also, when you were doing the prayer, Danny, they were also mentioning that the inner child, our inner child, is also needing some attention, maybe more love, more hugs, more compassion, take it easy.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's what I want to also put into the healing space when we wrap up, is letting go of everything. There was another automatic writing I did where my inner child, I took her out of the toxic environment when she was like 4 or 5 years old. I literally dusted her off from all the crap, the toxic stuff. And then next thing you know, she stood up and stared at the sun and with her back up against me. And I literally saw the sun just beaming down through her and activating and upgrading her DNA and restoring her blueprint. And I was just like, whoa.
Wow.
And then it was like, and then when it was done, all the activations and everything, then she turned around, she goes, okay, we're ready to go. And I'm like,
Wow.
okay. And ready to go in a sense that there was no doubt anymore that I am to live in abundance. There is no doubt that I am the creator of my life and that I can create whatever I want. Like all that left. It was just everything just got activated. I was like, wow. But it
How
happened.
forgiving.
It happened through the little child, the little girl, which
Imagine.
I believe, I sense where all the DNA activation, you know, if there's any trauma or if there's any anything holding the inner child from coming out and being fully available or open, I think that's where it needs to come through, is the inner child, because it is at play. It is the most receptive, it's the most open, it's the most vulnerable, you know, and it is the easiest to upgrade.
Makes perfect sense. Wow.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Does anybody else want to share anything? Anybody else having some wild stuff?
Oh,
Mhm.
I have the ringing in my ears and I find it very annoying. But when you say this is something good, then I guess I'll be more patient with it and when it's going to stop, because it's kind of not like me.
No. Yeah. This happens when we're being upgraded and download some information. Sometimes it's only in one ear, sometimes it's in both ears.
So
That's
is it
all.
going to stop anytime soon or just
Oh,
the
I think
patience
we're
is
going to have this
required?
for a while yet because we're at low density. We got to come up to our high density, our light bodies. So I think this is going to be going on for years to come. Right? We have to imagine that this body that we live in is very, very dense. And we're going to a very high vibrational body, which many call our light body. So there's lots of upgrades to bring this dense body from 2 strands to 12 strands and above. So imagine the amount of change that we're going to go through. Oh, I'm getting a pitch in my ear right now.
Yeah.
Very high pitch. So it's all good. You may feel, well, with the ascension symptoms, we may also feel our body is shifting and we might feel a little more tired. We might feel a little more aches and pains. We might feel headaches. I know a lot of us feel dizzy at times and wonder, why am I dizzy? Think of it as an upgrade. Think of it as that our DNA is being shifted to a higher vibration and that this dense body has to adjust, right? Imagine the amount of adjustment going on. It's huge.
Or you know, when you round that corner that you've rounded the corner a million times, but this time you just like bang right. That happened to me the other day. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, it's just totally off balance. Like it's just adjusting, right? And you just gotta laugh. Like, wow.
Yeah. I mean,
But
there's days when, go ahead.
the ringing in the ear too, like Raga, you can actually start working with it and start aligning your hemispheres, the pineal gland. And you can also tell it that if it's too loud, you see if it can turn it down some, but it is a tuning. It's like a tuning fork.
Yeah, good way of saying it.
So it's like
Exactly.
somebody
It's
on
all
a
good.
phone.
Yeah. I was
I
just
hope
gonna
it
say,
stops soon.
Yeah, so, and there's also a plate on your head. And so it's all about balancing the plate and also spinning it clockwise. And you
yeah,
can do it intentionally, command it to do that, or you can, I always like physically do it because when I get like massive pressure in the head, I just grab my plate and then I just spin it and then give it a couple of minutes and then it should, and I also ask
Just
that
like that? Okay. Oh, that
Yeah.
I can try that.
because we have we have one here around the third eye. We have many, many plates running through our body. And it's about having them move in the direction that they need to go, along with the chakras, along with we got a lot of stuff going on in our bodies energetically. So we have one on our head. So it's just level it out and spin it clockwise.
Now, this isn't the Merkaba you're talking about, is it?
Mm-mm.
No, okay.
No, we have main plates, and then we have many plates in between the plates.
Minor ones.
There's so much stuff. The Merkaba is the energy field that goes like this.
Yeah,
Like
and then Lucy, all the planetary shifts that have been going on too, right? Like add to, you know, what she's saying, all that as well,
yeah,
right? And then, so the idea was, you know, like this whole integration phase of, you know, this, of what Danny was saying, you know, in order for that, it just makes me think that with everything that's changing, or everything that, we don't want to use the word change, but you're going to be emitting your own unique frequencies, you know, rather than absorbing the frequencies from others, you know. That's the other thing that's starting to happen, is this idea that, you know, we're kind of imprinting like the intent of the universe, rather than like the receiving the imprints, you know, of all the other outer world existence, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, when I think about that ringing in my ear, it just reminds me of where I'm, oh, this is what's happening. What's the communication that's trying to be given to me?
yeah,
And
It's all good.
you know, it's like a good thing. And then, like you said, you can tune it down, or you can start to look at, like, you're absorbing who you truly are, instead of absorbing and really kind of separating the frequencies of that, you know, others,
Other
you
world.
know,
Yeah.
the other, what's been going on, and all these shifts that we're going through. If that makes sense.
It does.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
There's all,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't have the ringing in the air. I just, all of a sudden I'll be doing something and it's just like, boom, pressure in the head. And then, so whether it be the left or the right, and then I just go, ooh, okay, integrate, ground.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
just
And I get the,
my
I
plate.
get the dizzy, a bit, but I hear some people really get it. But mine will last for like 15 seconds, and then that'll go away.
Right.
Pretty short for
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
Like I rammed right into the wall. I'm off balance. It's gotta go. Holy Jesus.
Like
And we're
drugs.
just, and we're star seeds, we're all recalibrating.
Recalibrating.
And
Good
upgrading
word.
and upgrading.
Good
So
word.
there you go.
Recalibrating.
And my system too, right? It wants to go like, go get the glass of water and get the coffee going on at one time. So my nervous system is just like, wow, what's happening? And I'm like, whoa, slow her down, girl.
It's too much right now. The earth
Yeah.
is spinning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It is funny when you're like, oh my God, this is insane, like the speed.
Well, I was telling you, Lucy, that one of the things that happened for me, and this was like the significant piece of what you're talking about, in the last few days, I've been so much more present. It's happened at the beginning of this week, this last change of our, you know, we're in what are we in now? Whatever we're in. But,
We're
you know,
leaving Virgo, going into Libra, which is
so as
another
we've gone through
transition.
these changes, also, I said the shifts, all of a sudden my heart chakra, I was telling you, I
Oh, yeah.
am so much more present to love on all aspects of myself and with others, and how in my interactions it's all about that. And my heart chakra has been vibrating. Like, I will literally feel like, if you were to stand beside me, if you touched it, it would feel like a, I don't know, a massage
Vibration.
vibrator or something.
Mhm.
And it lasts, and then it goes away, and it comes again. And I'm like, wow, this is the wildest sensation.
Oh, wow. That's excellent.
Yeah. So it's like this upgrade, you know?
It is.
And I keep going, recalibration. No, anyway. So
Yep.
we're
That's
all
a
getting
perfect
different
word for it.
ascension symptoms, you know?
Exactly. We
So-
are. And apparently
Oh,
we're
and they're-
going through the photon belt and the Milky Way, and it's really hitting us hard at this time.
You mean that wasn't what we saw last night?
No.
Oh,
Someone's being
They're also
silly.
mentioning that the turtle always wins the race.
Yes.
Okay. And just picture yourself like on Turtle Island, because we
Ugh.
are basically on Turtle Island, right? And that you are running the race to the finish line with a turtle. Okay. It's not about getting there fast and getting there first,
Right.
Not at all.
because you will miss so many things if you go too fast, and then you'll crash and burn, and then you'll have to, go back to the starting line and start again. So just know that the turtle wins the race. Okay.
Very
When
good,
I
very
heard
good.
that, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
it's
bringing
time
us
to
all
relax and enjoy the
Mm.
ride, actually.
Bringing
Well,
us
the
all
thing that I've been noticing a lot over this last week or so has been the electrical storms. And there's
Uh,
no rain. There's just the loudest thunder I've
Mm.
ever heard. But the lightning, I actually, about this time of night, it starts and it just lights up the entire sky. It's magical to watch. There's
wow.
been that. And then there's been glitches. So I'm on a boat and I'll be sitting out on deck reading my book, and I'll look over to the left and the blue boat is on my left. And then, like a chapter later, I look out and the blue boat's on my right. It's like, how did you
Wow.
get there? We're all moored up. What's happening? And I've been noticing a lot of glitches. Again, like watching a bus driving along. There's a causeway over there, and it'll drive, and then like literally, I'll blink, and it'll be the other end of the causeway. And it's like, oh, we're back in the world of glitches, aren't we?
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's
It's
Yeah.
just great to catch them. Yeah, it's great fun. I've got nothing better to do all day but watch for glitches, That's what my life's about right now.
And they all,
As you cross the Atlantic.
Tatiana, when you
Yeah,
said
no, the
about
Pacific.
the ringing in the ear, it made me think of a conversation Lucy and I had about, like, she's like in the study mode right now, and I'm like, yeah, the one thing that is really this, I hear it all the time, where people are like, all of us, our
Mhm.
memories feel like that we're losing our memories. You know what I mean? We
Very
can't remember
much.
things. But I read this post, I saw this thing the other day about, as we're leaving the 3D world where we used our memory for things, now we're heading to the fifth dimension where we're knowing, right?
Knowing.
And it's the way to operate from our intuition. And because we're really being encouraged with our abilities to respond intuitively, right? And I was telling Lucy, I wrote this test the other day, and this stuff is second nature for me. Like, I know this like the back of my hand. And I sat there the whole test going, I can't remember anything. And the only way I
Wow.
could answer the questions were like, just, oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right. Just this knowing.
That's
So
it.
that's the other thing that when you were saying about the ringing in your ear, I'm finding is going on, is this memory thing is happening. I don't know if
Definitely.
anybody else is experiencing it, but it's pretty wild.
Definitely. I talked to a few people about is your memory kind of odd this days? And
Yeah.
they said, yeah, I can't remember what I did yesterday.
Yeah.
It's gone. And many of my friends are saying exactly the same thing. Yeah, it's something to do with our memories. And I feel we're shifting, and it's
Yeah.
not important to remember.
Yeah.
It's 3D.
Yeah. And just simply, it's important to know what you
Trust
need,
your
right?
intuition. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm sitting here like trying to remember that cartoon that always predicts the future. And I'm like, what's the name of that cartoon? And then you catch it, just knowing. And then I went, oh, The Simpsons, right?
Right.
Simpson.
So The Simpsons, all right, has some pretty cool predictions if you want to like get in on what's
Yes.
about to happen.
Go
They are
ahead.
like crazy with the predictions. They have one for today, September 20th.
Oh, do they?
They also have one for the 23rd, and also one for October 4th when they do the EBS testing.
Oh, wow.
And it's hilarious how they
tell us.
did it. But it basically wipes out all power right across, right? So it's like this big wave that comes through, and you literally see the wave. and everybody loses their power, and it's like, wow, what just happened?
That's awesome.
So
You mean
that's expected.
electricity.
Yeah,
say
the electric.
Okay.
That's what's happening on October 4th. And they said if it doesn't fly, they might do another one. But they're saying between the hours of 2 to 4, so you might want to turn off your phones at that time.
Yeah.
What was I going to
Interesting.
say about that too? Anyways, also on Netflix, there's quite a few shows that are exposing everything. Like, it's crazy. And one of them is called Legends of Tomorrow. It's on
Okay.
Netflix if you want to check out. There's a couple of them, but that was the one I remembered. There's quite a few movies that are just, here it is. Just exposing everything.
Disclosure,
Yeah.
right? Disclosure.
Disclosure and exposure. Yeah. So the whole thing too, like they're constantly trying to create division, right? Which is not who we are. We're oneness. We're here. We're all one. You are me. I'm you. So anytime that you're triggered by whatever, just know that you're in your division. You know, you're in your separateness, and
right.
it's not who you are, right? Or anything that it doesn't have to be with a person. It could be an idea or a thing you got to handle. You're just separating yourself from yourself, right?
The,
And that's where the irritation or the suffering comes in.
the doubt, the fear, all of that.
Yeah, so because that was another thing they were saying. So it's so important. You gotta let it go. Gotta let it go. Okay. And even doing all the studying that I've been doing, and it's been in insurance, it is like basically gone through my life. My financial life has just flashed before my eyes the last 30 years of my life. And I'm like, oh my God, like, why did you go there, Lucy? And it's like, then I have to be with how I was thinking at the time and my beliefs and my fears and blah, 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 and why I did what I did. And it's like, okay, I get it. And then just, okay.
Accept it.
And I've just written down like every financial move I've made that was what I had to do at the time, you know, to move to the next. But, you know, looking at it today with my higher version self of me going, what the heck were you thinking? Like, why were you even talking to that person? You know what I'm saying? So, but when you go into the person, like you go into myself like 20 years ago, I was thinking this way. Like I had all these programs and belief systems and stuff. And
all of
like,
us were.
so, and I just like, well, how else was I going to act? Like I did the best, I made the best move at the time. So that's the big cleansing that I'm going through here while I sit in the free apartment with the free food and the free this and the free that, right? It's like, wow, this is insane. So it's really been giving me an opportunity to really clean house. So that's what I want to bring in our closing, and also bring it into the circle for everyone, is to also help anything that you're hanging on to or you're grappling with in your mind, or you're going over it and you know you just can't seem to like pull it out. Yeah, I want to put it in the circle where we can bring in not only all our energies, and when everybody links and syncs up with the intention of having whatever is ready to be released at this time, to let it go. Like if I was looking at you, you were going through a bunch of stuff, and I would want you to let that go, and I would want you to be happy, and I would want you to have peace, right? And so the same goes for you looking at everyone else. It's like, okay, dude, like you can let that go. You don't got to struggle with that anymore. And just have that intention for that person to just like, here, give it to me. Just give me your stuff and I'll ditch it for you, right? So when everybody aligns with the same intention of not only letting go of our own stuff, but intending that you let go of your stuff,
Mhm.
we got a powerful circle.
Very much so.
So we're coming to the end of the bridge call. So is there anything else that anybody wants to bring up at this time? Anybody want to put something out in the circle that maybe would like assist all of us?
Mhm.
Big or small?
Bring it out. Crickets.
Awesome. So look at us. We are just moving through this like butter, like a knife, a hot knife with butter. I'm gonna make some
Mhm.
popcorn after this
Mhm.
and eat it on the right side of my mouth because my this tooth still can't crunch down a lot on. And how about yours, Danny? How are you doing? That's a
I'm not going to show you, but to be done in the near future. We went and
We're
picked-
not even going to recognize ourselves in the near future. Like we'll have changed so much, right?
Wouldn't that be lovely? Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So is there anybody that has any questions or anything, or maybe that, like you were mentioning, Danny, that maybe if somebody wanted something channeled or something, you're able to do a reading for somebody, or
Well, you're just talking about this intention of
yeah,
letting go of something. So what we could do like a 5-minute meditation on this and bring in the healing energies, and
yeah,
you can walk through it if
we
that's good with
definitely
you.
want to do that.
Okay.
All right. So everybody just tune into The Simpsons and let it go. There's our meditation.
There it is. Mhm.
And I think too, when the inner child comes out to like finally she trusts you, he trusts you enough to finally come out and play. That's your entry. That's your who will get activated the fastest because it's done through play. It's done through lightness, right? So the more you can laugh at yourselves and just laugh at everything. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on that's just not a laughing matter, where you're like, you know, just a little beside yourself as to how evil shit can get.
Yeah.
And you have to remember too that everything's happening with agreement, right? And it's like, so it's just like you got to stay neutral, or I mean, you could lose your mind if you get in there. So,
It's not to us.
Very good. Mhm.
sorry?
No. It's happening for us, not to us.
Exactly. Yeah, because like I said, don't kill the messenger. And the messengers are those that are creating this, and they're forcing us to wake up, stand up, and expand and step into our power and unite with not only our higher selves, but all galactic beings that are here. And I did get that sense a couple of months ago that they are more active. Galactic beings are a little bit more, are able to be a little bit more active with helping, assisting with what's going on. Not only like, okay, detonating the nuclears and stuff like that, but a little bit more active in working with humans.
They are.
And I don't know, I told you earlier, there was like an airplane where they were flying this airplane, and then it was like an F-35 or something, big plane. And the pilots ejected themselves out of the plane and let the plane fly on autopilot. So this thing was flying around for a couple of days, and it finally crashed and landed in some field somewhere. And then they found it, and they got the pilots and asked them, like, what happened? Why did you eject yourselves? He goes, well, what they were asking us to do was to destroy and be extremely destructive. And then we were going to do it, but then we decided we couldn't follow through with it. And so we ejected ourselves out of the mission.
Wow. Powerful.
And then just let the plane go on autopilot, like,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
powerful.
pretty powerful. And that's what I'm saying by like getting back to our truth and just like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, I'm not partaking in that. And they freaking injected themselves out of the plane and then
Wow. Brave
aborted
move.
the
Boy.
mission.
Brave move. Very interesting story.
Yeah. I was listening to it. I was listening to this guy and I'm like, what do I care about some plane flying around on autopilot? But I kept listening to the story.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what are you saying? And then at the end, I was like, oh my God. So people are changing, people are waking up.
Mm-hmm. Have a
And they're
conscious.
just like, they've had enough on all levels. Like freaking pilots are ejecting themselves out of planes and aborting missions. So it's like, yes.
Wow. They'd be
Wow.
commended for that too. Okay.
All right.
Ready? Meditation time?
Yeah. So let me start it off and bringing people in and stuff. And then you can end it for us. Okay, Danny?
Sure. Okay.
All right. So let's all just settle back into our beautiful bodies with all the DNA and all the activations and all the light codes and our heart chakras and all the chakras that are opening up at this time. And just relaxing into the body and allowing the nervous system to really calm itself down. And also maybe you want to adopt a new mantra where, you know, there's a saying, don't push the river. So go with the flow. And the whole idea of this meditation today is actually getting back into oneness and getting back into who we really are. And we are everyone, and everyone is us. So anything and everything that is ready to leave at this time, we want to put it into our circle. This is our intention. And as we do that, we want to take 3 big breaths. And these breaths, if you can consciously take the breath from the bottom of your tailbone and breathe it all the way up to the top of your head. And as you release, so inhale at the tip of your tailbone and inhale it all the way up to the top of your head. And once your breath gets to the top of the head, blow it out through the top of the head like a whale blows out and takes a breath. And do that 3 times. So tailbone, big inhale, and inhale it all the way up the spine, all the way through the energy centers, through the top of the head, and exhale like a whale blowing out of its flute. And that creates your own energy centers, your own Merkaba, your own vortex, your own energy field. And it also allows you to just stop thinking and start being in aligned with your breath, and starts opening up all your energy centers. So we take 1 more at the tip of our tailbone, bottom energy center. We move it, take a big inhale up through the spine, up through all the energy centers, all the way up through the throat, third eye, pineal, top of the head, through the crown chakra, and blow it out. There's also more chakras above, which is the next one is time and space. If you can, blow it up right through the time and space chakra and right through the consciousness chakra, connected to all the galactic beings across all time and space. So we also ask all our beings that are here with us to huddle in our circle to increase and lock in the energies. And if you can imagine the energy fields just linking up like big wings linking up into each other's wings. And then just creating a huge energy field. And the more you open up your energy field and the more allowing you become and the more relaxed you become, all the densities that are stuck, not only in your physical body, but in your energy field, loosens up. So the more you relax, the more you open up, the more you become allowing. The densities, these blobs, actually loosen up and are able to come out of the energy field and go back into the ethers, back to its original state, into pure energy, pure nothing. So just want to think of anything and everything that is ready to leave at this time, consciously or unconsciously. Going back from when you first arrived on the planet, when you first arrived full of energy, full of passion, and all loaded up with mission and purpose, ready to tackle and take it on. So excited to be here. And everything and anything that got piled on you at that time, moving forward from that time, all the separations. So we ask our higher beings, our higher self, in the energy of the group, and with all our intentions connected, we command to have them released, loosened from the grips. And if you can imagine all these energy blobs, heavy, dense energy blobs, like releasing out of the energy fields, and they're like moving up and up and up into the ethers, just wanting to leave. They don't want to hang out anymore. And with our power of intention, we intend not only for ourselves, but for everyone here, for everyone that is on the planet that is wanting to release from all the separate judgments, fears, guilt, shames, anger, loneliness, all those third-party thought belief systems. So we intend all these to loosen their grip and to release them back into the ethers, back to pure light, pure potentiality. Whenever you're ready, command it back to pure light, pure potentiality. Acknowledging it, thanking it for all of the juicy experiences that you were able to create with it, and how it no longer serves, and it's time to let it go and time to move on. And they're saying, burning the bridge to never return. We're going to bring in some healing energies to heal anything that needs to be restored back to its original blueprint. And I'm going to turn it over to Danny to take us home.
And in all of this healing, may we remember also to forgive as we release any angers and resentments and traumas that we may have had. To forgive all those and forgive ourselves, as that is a great part of the healing. To let go and forgive ourselves, as it was only an experience that we came here to have. We wish to thank all those wonderful beings that were here today to assist us. We ask that you stay with us and continue to be with us in the days and weeks ahead, and assist us in helping us to release all that does not serve us anymore. We ask that you stay with us and you surround us and you support us every minute of every day. And with great gratitude, we thank you all for being here with us and supporting us and loving us and helping us on our journey here. We are so grateful for all of you. And Father, Mother, Creator, God, we are so grateful as we accept all these healings and all this wonderful loving energy as manifest right here and now. And so it is. Thank you.
So when you're ready, slowly come out and also take some intentional water. Intentional water is just you giving the water thanks and thanking it for hydrating you. Don't forget to hydrate yourself. So awesome job, everyone.
Wonderful, Lucy. You did a fabulous job as usual.
Thank you, Danny, for coming out of the area that you're in and making this connection happen.
I mean, the abyss. Yes.
The abyss.
Well, let's see what's happening the next few days and week or so is going to be very interesting to watch.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Very good. Awesome. It's good to see all of you here tonight.
Sure is.
Take care.
So, yeah, so anybody, I'm just going to stop the recording.